Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. Remember, you can tag me on Twitter with your video suggestions, topic suggestions, any articles you want me to talk about, anything at all. At me on Twitter, at Movies TV Mad. I'll give you a shout out and I'll make your dreams come true. You know what? As a YouTuber, whether you're unsuccessful or you're a successful YouTuber, I should be wearing the unsuccessful YouTuber hat, but that's irrelevant right now. Anything can drop at any time, which means you have to drop everything and talk about it. And sometimes it's a pleasure, sometimes it's a hassle. On today's dceu Daily, it's an absolute pleasure to talk with you and listen to Grace Randolph's second interview on her YouTube channel with Zack Snyder, where they discuss the Justice League additional photography, the confirmation that Ben Affleck and Jared Leto did additional photography. We're also going to be talking about one of the original actors who played Lucifer on Keanu Reeves' Constantine film, confirming that a sequel is in development. How exciting is that? But I think we need to get going with the thing we're all here for. So let's give it a play. Let's listen to Grace Randolph talk to Zack Snyder. This is kind of the sequel, isn't it?
At the same, it's hard because you're busy, but COVID, it's been really nice because I think we talked about this before, but maybe not. I have my editorial suite is upstairs here at the office, and so I'm able to jump back and forth between the two movies just sitting at a desk.
Awesome.
Literally just connect to the other project, and there it is, and we just work on it. So that part's really seamless. Yeah. So, and this same process is going on with Justice League. That's the movie, in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's Justice League. That was going on with Army. So now it's just every day, hundreds of visual effects shots just coming in.
Well, especially for Justice League.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Steppenwolf is not practical. I have to admit that.
That's fantastic.
He's a big, visual effects extravaganza on steroids who is just going nuts in the movie right now. But and so that's an incredibly fun process. And then yes, we did pick up a couple additional shots.
Some pretty good ones. I have to say when we were talking about what to discuss during this interview, I said, Zach,
we were just chatting.
There's a rumor going around that your Joker, has a different look. And you said, well, Grace, that's true.
It is true. Listen, I wanted to, of course, honor what had been created with him because I thought it was really cool. But I also felt like in this, I'm not going to tell you what happens in the little scene, but
we won't tell everybody else.
Yes, I did tell. But there is some water has gone under the proverbial bridge between when last we saw Joker and this sort of.
So it's clear to see that our theories about Jared Leto's Joker appearing in the nightmare sequence in Zack Snyder's Justice League is spot on. Water has gone under the bridge. He has a different look because he's been through a lot. He's in the nightmare sequence. He's in this nightmare future. And this is why he's going to look different. Very exciting to hear it confirmed by Zack.
Appearance. And so he's made some. He's a road weary Joker. I guess that's a way of saying it.
Yeah, you only showed me stills, black and white stills. But they are so amazing. This Joker, your design, I would say, is video game level good.
Oh, that's cool.
And when people see it in the context, they're going to go nuts. And my lips are sealed as to what you showed me, but I would say that if you have the opportunity to do a spin-off, that this, from what I've seen, this would be a strong contender.
Oh, wow. That's kind of you to say. Thank you.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
Oh, awesome.
So what was it like working? Yeah.
Listen, it was, I'm going to try and keep some mystery, because that's fun. But I will say that it was fun having a segment of the band together for this little vignette, if you will, and working with Jared was really amazing. His attention to detail, and he really cares a lot about it being awesome, and so it was fun, and everyone did an amazing. Everyone, and even trying to shoot in COVID, is a bit of a deal. But everyone brought like huge A game and really wanted it to be cool. And I couldn't be happier with what those guys did. And it's just cool and good fun.
Well, speaking of, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fun to do it. It was kind of, for me anyway, it was kind of look, there's a lot of pressure to make the thing cool and all that, but at the same time, on the other hand, it was a complete the scene was a thing that a part of the world that I love and that I felt like needed to be just added to this movie, and that it's like we talked about, it's really the only thing that I've added outside of the original photography. It's like
I do want to ask you about that, but first I want to ask.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So he confirms there that Jared Leto's Joker is the only fresh piece of footage he's putting in. So I want you to think about this, because in a moment he's going to confirm, they're both going to confirm that Ben Affleck was also there for additional photography. So I don't think you need to know that one add equals two to know what comes next. I mean, they don't confirm this on this interview, but it's clear that Batfleck and Jared's Joker are in a scene together, which we must assume is in the nightmare future. Again, very exciting and very awesome. Can I just say again, I'm so amazed and grateful to Zack for doing this. He knows how exciting it is for us to be hearing what's going on and to clarify a lot of things. He's also going to clarify about the trailer being taken down. And I can tell you, he's going to say this in the interview, but the trailer will be back up. On November the 17th, which is this Tuesday, he's got some special stuff. And anyway, listen to the interview. Don't let me spoil it for you. But yeah, this is so awesome.
Jared, what was it like giving him the call that you wanted him to come back? What was?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't, that process also, between an actor and director talking about like what they want to do. I don't want to violate that trust, but I will say that he was really gracious with his entertaining my idea, and I told him that it was a thing that I felt like even when I was working on Justice League in London, that I felt like was an inevitable course that the movie had to take. And so when I told him that it is a thing that I've been kicking around in my head for quite a while, I feel like he just kind of sort of warmed up to this idea that is kind of an inevitable thing.
I want you all to remember, even though he said, and he's going to say in this interview that he added about 4 to 5 minutes of additional photography in for the cut, right? It's also very important to understand he's already said he doesn't want to spoil anything. He wouldn't take much more in those minutes to add Darkseid killing Lois. So that's not off the table just because he didn't mention it. I just wanted to add that.
It kind of had to happen. So I am grateful, and I am forever in debt to his kindness and for doing it, and also for the rest of the guys that showed up to really just crush.
So well, also we know Ben Affleck was back. Did he say anything about being back in the Batsuit?
Yeah, I think he forgot how uncomfortable it is, but that's fine. He was incredibly gracious, and again, the guy. It's funny how they just, you watch him just go, oh, it was like yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it was really fun. And,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
So how
and a couple of the costumes, have been in archives for a while. So
it's been 4 years since you filmed, right?
Yeah.
Was it hard to get them?
And more, we had to they were all over the place in museums and stuff. And we had to tear them out of there. And,
really?
I think one of the cowls we put on just kind of ripped in half because it was so that's all cool stuff. But
that's fantastic. And was it hard to do some of the changes that you wanted to some of the looks? Or was that?
No. That was all super seamless and happened really organically and was right in with, sort of my way of sort of seeing how I like the universe to look. And so it was very particular, but also really satisfying to sort of see it real. Oh, yeah, it always is for me. It's one of the funnest things is just.
What you're not going to hear in this interview is who else was on this additional photography kind of stage. Now, he said he's grateful to Jared and Ben and to the other guys who were there. And with Zack, he doesn't say guys and girls, he just says guys. So he means both. He means all genders when he says that, just so we're clear. So we know, or there was a rumor about Deathstroke, so Joe Manganiello turning up as well. So there's other people who turned up to do additional photography. He doesn't mention them. So that's very interesting.
To have it, be physical in front of me, it's just fun.
I think you nailed it. Beyond what I would have expected. So what do you say to people? There are some people who are like, you're shooting additional scenes. You're cheating, Zack. You're just making a whole new movie.
Right. I mean,
what do you say to that?
I thought, it's an interesting. I think I think it's valid because, on one hand, though, I will say that it's gonna in the end it's gonna probably be about 4 minutes or 5 minutes of additional photography.
That's all you've added
for the entire movie.
Okay, yeah, that's good. See,
in the 4 hours that is Justice League, maybe 4 minutes. And I don't know that you've seen a lot of movies. There's a few, but there's not a lot of movies that have 4 minutes of additional photography beyond what was shot in principle. Most movies have quite a bit more than that, and most movies, the cool thing about this film is that it is a pure extraction from the script that Chris and I worked on, that Chris wrote. It is directly from the page through the prism that is the experience of making the movie, working with these.
Now, the question you're all going to be asking, and as I was listening to that for a second time, because I've obviously watched this interview before so I could do the video, and obviously I would watch it and listen to it even if I wasn't doing a video, is when he talks about this film is extracted directly from Chris's script, his and Chris's script. What script is he talking about? The scary idea or the other idea? And we've also heard him before go on to Real Emotion and talk about shooting all his bullets. How many of those bullets did he shoot? That's another interesting question that's not covered here. But of course, we want to see the film and be surprised. So that's going to be very interesting.
Amazing actors, and then creating this epic story. And there's no, focus groups or, this is just.
You don't have to have any focus groups?
Yeah, we don't do any of that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This is just straight back. So that's an amazing work. And listen, part of the reason that when we first started talking about whether this was possible, part of the reason I wanted to do it was because I made, when you enter into a project like this with actors, amazing actors, Ben and Amy and Gal, Henry and Jason, mm-hmm. Ray, you and Ezra, when you enter into this kind of endeavor, it's an epic experience. And when I got them to do the movie, remember Ezra and Jason and Ray, I cast before I shot VVS. I mean, let's see, what is that?
Because you had end credit scenes with them.
Well, no, they're in the body of the movie, remember, with the...
Yeah.
And that's literally... And we shot Ezra in pre-production on VVS. I think that's 2014. Am I wrong about that?
That's amazing. And not everybody here was that amazing before you picked them. I mean, you really have a
Well,
great eye.
Jason, frankly, I really was excited and awesome about letting the world see this my take on Aquaman, and that he was going to be this, Pacific Islander and amazing and just this big, just awesome, hurricane of a human that was just
Turned out to be quite popular.
and I guess my point is only that, I remember we were still filming shots for BVS when I was in Bora Bora, filming the scene where they find the kryptonite under the water, and I released that image of Jason. I had it on my phone. I just dropped it. Unite the Seven, and because I was super confident in. Once I had worked with him and just saw what he could do and who he was, I was like, this is awesome. So anyway, but anyway, so what I was getting at was that, I pitched them the movie, right? Like I go, this is who you're going to be. This is where it's going, right?
Justice League.
Well, starting, and when I talk about Jason or Ezra, it's starting, it's like
way back to BVS.
Years ago. Yeah,
you were pitching them a journey. You're like,
a journey. Yeah,
okay, awesome.
And same with Amy, and it was about, this, that we were going.
He mentions Amy Adams quite a bit, and it seems to me in Justice League, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Lois Lane has a big arc, a lot bigger of an arc than we ever imagined. And that's interesting. But will Darkseid kill her? Or will that be in Justice League Season 2? We will have to wait and see.
Somewhere, and I feel like when this opportunity arrived and came to me, I got this call, and, Toby Emmerich called me to say, hey, is this the thing you'd be interested in doing? It was shocking, frankly. I wasn't ready. But I thought about...
What did he call you about?
Just to say, like, is this a thing that, you'd be interested in? Like,
doing Batman v Superman?
Finishing...
finishing for the Snyder Cut. So you're talking about that. So Toby's the one who called you about it.
Yeah, he was the one that called me originally. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And so...
Now, of course, Grace knows full well that what Zack is talking about, but did you notice they tried to underline the fact that it was Toby Emmerich that called up to offer Zack the opportunity to finish his Justice League movie? Why would they do that? Well, we all know that there's a lot of bad opinions about Toby Emmerich in the fandom, and Ray Fisher was quite negative about him. So it's interesting that Zack and Grace wanted to make it clear that it was Toby Emmerich that called Zack to offer him the opportunity to finish this movie. That says a lot on what page Zack is at now.
I just think that, and then, in thinking about it, one of the big things that got me to say, all right, this is a huge job, it's crazy, but it was that commitment I had made to those actors about, like, let's finish this. Let me put it back. Let me honor what we talked about creating, because I just, famously, I've never seen the theatrical cut of Justice League, but I can only imagine that it's not what we talked about. It's not.
Well, just to settle it with people, a movie is around usually 2 hours.
Yeah.
But your cut is 4. So if it's only 4 additional minutes of footage that you've filmed, where's all that stuff coming from?
Well, that's, you can sort of get a sense of that by the way I kind of make a movie. If you look at the director's cut of Watchmen or a BVS, frankly, those are solid 3+ hour movies.
That's awesome.
And I had always said that I don't understand how to make this into a 2-hour movie. We're literally bringing, like, I had a hard time having Batman v Superman be less than 3 hours, and that's 2 guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you know, and then Wonder Woman. Once you get Wonder Woman in there, I'm like, okay, that's 3 hours.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little Wonder Woman. That's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
an hour per hero.
Yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna have like a bunch of heroes. Like there's just I don't get it. I don't see.
So you'd always film something this long and just had planned to try and whittle it down for theatrical.
Yeah, and you and
This is a great conversation, and there's going to be a lot of YouTubers out there, elite YouTubers, that are not going to cover this the way I'm covering it. And even though you've probably watched and listened to this is about us together as fans going through it and analysing it and giving it a listen. And I think it's very exciting, and I hope you're enjoying it, because I certainly am.
Look, at the beginning, when early days, I had said, hey, maybe there's a way to create out of this world. Yes, there'll be the theatrical version, but then my director's cut will always be a more robust look at this.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So I really endeavored, they were constantly bugging me not to film things. They're like,
they're like, you can't possibly use all this Zack.
How is this going to get in the movie? And I'd be like, look, trust me, maybe I'll just have a snippet of it or this, that, and the other thing. But then, in the end.
But they're happy now you filmed it all.
Well.
Everyone's so excited about it.
I'm happy I did. Well, I'm happy I did because, and I guess that's my point is that, being able to let these characters actually, fulfill this arc.
What you're listening to now, because I think a lot of fans don't really understand the relationship between filmmaker, creative director, and studio, and the production entity and the bureaucrats. The director wants to make his film. He wants to shoot as much footage as possible, because when you're molding the clay, you've got lots of clay to put on, so you can do what you want. And that's what it's like writing a story or shooting a story. You want so many sequences, so you can choose what pieces of the puzzle to add and subtract. And what you're hearing now isn't that the studio are bad and the director's good. The point is, the studio have got their budgetary point of view. They've got their schedule point of view. And it's just like when you're a novelist and the kind of people that are kind of making sure that there's a schedule for the book release are pressuring the author all the time. This is all it is. So it doesn't mean the studio are bad. They've got their point of view. They've got their responsibilities. And the director, like Zack, for example, has his.
That we had planned is really kind of a lot of the why of it, to see, what, Lois, the why of it, what she struggles and what she has to go through. And, to see Superman reborn and to see,
I can't wait,
Aquaman, make some choices and, about who he is, just all those things. And Ezra, this connection with his father that, finding his place again, and it's all these, because, the Justice League is, they're all slight misfits and and this is it's all about them, Bruce kind of making a family out of these impossible misfits.
Bruce is very good at making families.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty good at, I think that he had some trouble with his own family.
Yeah. So a bit of a road bump there.
A little bit of a trauma.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that, and and he's kind of pushed that aside, but I think he realizes, after what he learned from Superman, that it's got to be, this is how you do it.
Well, speaking of Ezra, you told me a funny story about how you got a pickup shot of him for the reshoots.
Yeah, I had to get a pickup shot. I had to get a pickup shot of Ezra, and when we were doing this little bit, and so the only way to do it, he's on Fantastic Beasts, so, and that's in London, and we weren't gonna, travel to London. Unfortunately, I would love to have done that.
Well, it's pandemic rules.
Pandemic, we weren't. Yeah, pandemic rules. And so what we did is we picked him up on a Zoom.
That's fantastic.
And the Fantastic Beasts crew, I sent them these drawings. I was like, okay, this is what he has to do. This is where he is. Blah blah blah. And I was just looking for a photo. I can't find it. But
anyway. So you zoomed him on set? So they
Yeah,
started lighting and
I was right here. I'm here, and he was on his little set.
Oh,
There was 3 monitors for me, so I could see the set, and I could see Ezra, and I could see the camera, and I'd be, okay, move that guy, do this, Ezra.
Oh, so you directed it via Zoom, and then they filmed it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I guess my head.
I must admit, I was like Grace when he was saying, I was saying, well, wait, you filmed him while you were watching him on Zoom? Zack, that's going to be shit, mate. But then I realised that he's on Zoom and he's telling the cameramen and women or whatever, whoever's there to do it in the way that he wants it done. Pretty amazing how the film industry have adapted to COVID. I think it's sensational. Actually, I think it's amazing how we've adapted as a human race. Another conversation for another time.
Was on they had like a stand with the with like an iPad for me. So
that's like a 2020 Cecil B. DeMille moment.
Yeah.
That's like,
I was like,
all right.
I was like, is there any way that could be like on a remote control car that I could drive it around a little bit?
That'd be great. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, I'm not thinking in the hospital, but yeah, but anyway, it was really fun. And it was only like it was only a teeny bit, so it worked out pretty well.
Well, pretty big day on Tuesday, November 17th.
Yes.
That's the anniversary of the Twitter revolution that led to the Snyder Cut becoming a reality.
Yes.
Do you have any plans that might involve all of us? Maybe.
Yeah. So look, it always, this whole project comes back to the fans. In the end, it will always that's just how it will always be. And whatever, however we go forward, and whenever this is looked at, it's a fan initiative. It's a fan created phenomenon. So, a year ago, this will be the 3rd anniversary of the theatrical release of the movie. But a year ago, on 17th of November, which was the date of the theatrical release, the internet, if you will, or the fans, they really marshaled their forces, and they created this very loud cry that was heard all over the world, and the numbers are staggering. I think that it's like I forget like what the number, like it's like 1 billion impressions and like whatever. It's crazy.
It was gorgeous. You trended all day. Your whole cast chimed in.
That's like 1 million. Yeah, cast. They all knew. So it was really an amazing moment that really I feel like solidified the chance that this would become a reality. And so on this 17th, there's a couple things happening. One, AFSP, which is this amazing organization which is all about suicide prevention. It's our big cause. That has the fans have raised just about $500,000. We're right close to $500,000.
That's amazing.
And it's unbelievable. We talk about I always talk about the fact that this, love it or hate it, you can think whatever you want about this fandom, but the true is that these guys have, with what they've done and the money they've raised, they have literally saved lives, and that is a fact. Like, the movie's a movie, whatever. Like, it's fine, and it's fun to make a movie, and it's fun to make a superhero movie, and that's cool and all. But like, the actual work that these guys have been able to do is real and tangible, and saved people's lives and changed people's lives, and that's just a thing that I am humbled before, and do whatever I can to volumize, because it's really.
What I like about Zack is he knows. You see, this is quite funny actually with Zack, because he knows what we talk about on Twitter. He's monitoring us all the time. He's watching our YouTube videos. I mean, I wouldn't say he's watching every single kind of Snyder topic YouTube video, but he knows of us. He knows the fans, me, you. I'm not saying he knows very much about us or is that interested in us. What I'm saying to you is he knows what goes on. He said a very interesting thing then. Say what you want about this fandom, but they saved lives. So he appreciates us, but he also knows that we can be rather problematic, which I find a very unique situation between a director and a fandom. It's absolutely wonderful and so unique and so refreshing.
It's really just incredible work. So what we plan on is always with sort of the mind toward, like, if it's possible to keep everybody hammering away at AFSP, to like give them $1, give them whatever. We're also talking about doing like a little bit of another raffle. I'm gonna I don't know what. I'm gonna find some kind of artifact from my collection of Justice League paraphernalia or movie stuff to say look, if you could show me a receipt or something from your AFSP donation, you're in it to win this thing. So that's all happening, and then also
so the raffle. You might do a raffle on Tuesday.
It's kind of it'll be right around then. It'll decide right after or whatever. But the whole drive for me is just to get people to go to AFSP and give them $1 or $2 or $10 or $10,000, whatever they want. I don't want to put a cap on it, but I understand that if it's $1.
Every bit helps.
Yeah, every teeny bit helps. Yeah, dime helps. Everything helps. So, and then we just launched this new Dark Side T-shirt the other day.
Yes. We have a beautiful T-shirt, and it's only available for a limited time, correct?
Yeah. Alex Hardy created it, and it was this it's an amazing Dark Side image. So it's really fun.
I'll put the link down below where people can buy it, and it'll ship around December 10th, which means it would be a great Christmas present.
Right under the tree, I think.
Yeah. Or you could wear it around. People could wear it around their own homes and say, "Oh, the Christmas cookies shall be mine."
Yeah, exactly. And then that's awesome. Yeah, with the Santa hat and some of the colors are similar. I think it's a great look. It's great.
Yeah, you'll be the talk of your family.
He's a little Scroogey, but that's cool. I think it's good.
Perfect. They should make a Christmas Carol with Dark Side.
Yeah. Or how about an ornament? That would be cool.
Yeah, that's next year. That's how you raise money next year.
I know. I could get those guys on right now. Come on, guys. You can't sculpt me a Dark Side Christmas ornament in that month. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Call yourselves.
Yeah.
You people.
Come on, you elves. But anyway, so so that's kind of the drive that we're all about right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm trying to do is on the 17th, I'm going to I don't know if you realize, but the Justice League trailer, there was a little issue with the music rights, and so we
noticed.
It kind of came down. So it's coming back. We've got it all worked out, and so it's coming back. Yes. And what I was going to do is the initial release of the trailer that we're going to just put back up is going to be on the 17th, and it's going to what I was going to do for a little live stream on Vero, same way I did Man of Steel live stream and BBS live stream, is we're going to take the trailer and I'm going to break it down shot by shot, just go through it.
Oh, wow.
Q&A, live questions about what does the shot mean, and I'll tell how, what went into making it and, what it points toward as cryptically
as around what time will that be?
I think the time is going to be, I think it's 9 a.m. my time, but don't quote me on that yet. Let me just,
but just so people have a general idea of when
it's going to be around 9 a.m. Pacific Coast.
And you'll tweet out.
I'll tweet it out 100%, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And it's going to be really cool. And, it's going to be, you're going to see the trailer again.
It might be a little different, right?
And it might have a couple tweaks. And then also there'll be a little, we put together this little commemorative little film also that kind of talks about what super short. It's a minute and a half.
Oh wow!
About what the fans were able to do in this.
Will those things go up on YouTube and stuff afterwards, or are they only?
I think they'll probably go up. I'm going to put it up on Vero for a little bit, and then it'll probably go up bigger. I think HBO Max will have it, and then some other places.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Finally, I have to ask you. Yeah. What is it like doing a project like this where you have total ownership, not just creatively with the film itself, but how you promote it, being able to do fundraising like this? I mean, it's truly Zack Snyder's Justice League. What's that like?
It's cool. It's a lot of responsibility, but in the end, I'll be honest, I have approached all my movies in the same way. And marketing has been really patient with me a lot of the times. Almost all the trailers that I've released, I would say 90% of the trailers I released, I kind of conceived and kind of put together.
That's very unusual.
With the help of course, the amazing editors and geniuses behind the scenes, but really with my, this is what I wanted to be.
And most people don't cut their own trailers. That's very unusual.
That is not the way it's done. Yeah. So I like to, and not to take anything away from the amazing trailer.
Of course not. Yeah.
Editors and their genius and a lot of, but it's always been a thing that I felt. I come from advertising, and it's a thing that I always felt like. I remember when we did Dawn of the Dead. I think I said, to them, I go, guys, you want my help? You couldn't. Like this movie, there's no way you could afford me if I was doing the commercial side of it. Like, there's
that's fantastic. I love that. What a fun situation to be in.
There's no way. Like, if you called me with this Dawn of the Dead idea, I'd be like, forget it. I don't. But anyway, but because it was mine, I was absolutely wanted to, be fully invested in everything. So I guess this project, Justice League is kind of that on a little bit of steroids, and I'll say the HBO Max people have been really amazing and very tolerant again of my meddling, and I find but they're really excited about every activation, and they're really and they've come with tons of inspired ideas for down the road of ways to like really excite the fans and stuff. So that's going to be fun to see. There's going to be a lot of
you mean in terms of an ad campaign?
Ad campaigns, activations, big stuff that they want to do.
Oh, so this is gonna even more than that. They're gonna really back it up. That's fantastic.
Oh, when the movie's coming, it's gonna just be like a giant movie coming out.
That's so fantastic. Oh wow. It's always so nice to see you, Zach, and it's just wonderful. It's such a joy to see you once again, absolutely killing it.
Oh, appreciate it. You're kind to allow me this time to talk about it.
Oh, sure, and I can't wait for Tuesday.
All right, well, get ready.
And that is that. So basically, we pretty much listened to everything. I jumped over Army of the Dead. My interest isn't with Army of the Dead. I love you, Zach. I probably will check it out on Netflix when it's out. But we are here on the DCEU Daily. This is what this channel does, the DCEU. I started this channel because of the DCEU and the Snyder Cut and all of that. It was an amazing interview. So let me try and get my bearings, and let's let's catch up on the highlights. Zack Snyder will go on to Vero on November the 17th, because that is the anniversary of the theatrical release of Justice League, and he will do a shot-by-shot of his first Justice League trailer, which was taken down because of copyright, but they're going to put it back up. The issues have been solved. But he's going to show us that trailer, and he's hinted it, and this is what's going to happen. It's going to be the same trailer with some new scenes. It could even be a brand new thing. I don't know. But you're going to see additional Zack Snyder's Justice League sequences in this trailer. Now, I don't know if he's actually going to do a shot-by-shot of the new version or the old version. So that's what's happening. You heard him talk about ASAP or the suicide prevention thing. I forgot what the charity's called. So if you can donate, do even $1. I certainly will be doing that on Tuesday. But, it doesn't matter how little you donate. Every dollar, every cent, every pound, every penny, every euro, anything will help out and can save lives. So that's amazing. He spoke about Jared Leto, being humbled that he came back on board. Same with Ben Affleck. He hinted towards other people coming along as well. He didn't mention those other guys as he put them. It was a very, very interesting interview, which dodged some things, didn't talk about certain things. Obviously, Grace asked what she could and could not talk about. I'm sure she asked if she could talk about the Ray Fisher situation. He would have said no. He wants no part in that. And, he's back at Warner Brothers, at Warner Media. He doesn't want to rock that boat. And why would he? He explained, obviously, as we've already covered, the trailer being taken down because of copyright. We were shitting ourselves about that, worrying that something might have happened. Well, I wasn't so much. I thought it was absolute nonsense. Of course, it was going ahead. It's happening. HBO Max and Warner Media and AT&T desperately need Zack Snyder. Listen, I've got my issues with Grace Randolph. She can kind of sail beneath the wind sometimes, but he trusts her. He's given her another interview, and it's absolutely amazing. So, yes, there you have it. And one other thing we should say, of course, which goes without saying, I think we can say the additional photography has stopped now. It's over. He's cutting the film together. He still hasn't mentioned a release date. Will we get a release date this Tuesday with this new version of his trailer? I think we might. I could be talking about this all day. An amazing interview. My pleasure to bring it to you. I'm sure you've watched and listened to it a dozen times already, but things are really moving on, and it's so exciting. This was actually going to be my lead story. Keanu Reeves' Constantine 2 is happening, says Star. Now I'm going to read this out to you because this is really exciting. This is by Screen Rant's Daniel Gillespie. When I heard about this, I was going, oh my God, this is going to be my lead story, but Zack changed that. I may look a bit tired. It may look a bit darker than usual in this room. This is because it's evening here in Cyprus, and I wanted to get all this done before tomorrow because this is a long video and this is going to take a long time to upload. Anyway, Constantine 2, a follow-up to the 2005 movie starring Keanu Reeves, is in the works according to Peter Stormare, who played Lucifer in the film. Constantine 2, a follow-up to the 2005 movie starring Keanu Reeves, is in the works according to Peter Stormare. Now, if you don't know who Peter is, he played that guy with the foreign accent in Prison Break. Forgot what he was called now. You know what I mean. Anyway, you know who played Lucifer in Constantine. Works according to Peter Stormare, who played Lucifer in the original film. Stormare, who has also appeared in Fargo, Armageddon, American Gods, John Wick, Chapter 2, and a number of video games, including Destiny and Destiny 2, was a standout in the DC Comics adaptation. Despite being panned by critics and comic book fans alike upon release, Constantine has been re-evaluated in recent years, especially since Reeves has experienced a major career resurgence due to the John Wick franchise. Now, there was always a plan by WB to find a place for Keanu in the DC Extended Universe. There's been so many rumours of him going over to Disney, doing Star Wars, doing Marvel, but that was never going to happen. He's got a beautiful relationship with Warner Brothers, always has, and he's been desperate to do this Constantine sequel for years, as we've seen in interviews. So this is tremendously exciting. Rumours of a sequel to the Reeves version have swirled for years, but they seem to be squashed when it was announced J.J. Abrams was producing a reboot at Warner Brothers. Despite this, Reeves and director Francis J. Lawrence, who went on to helm a number of Hunger Games movies, hinted that if a sequel were ever to be greenlit, they'd both be keen to return to make it, with producer Akiva Goldsman adding that he'd make a sequel tomorrow at this year's Comic-Con at home. Now, Stormare has seemingly confirmed Constantine 2 is in fact happening. He has posted an image of himself as Lucifer in Constantine on Instagram with the accompanying caption, "Sequel in the works." Stormare is the first person directly involved to confirm plans for a sequel, and hopefully his post is correct. Though it would be strange if the actor was posting without having at least been contacted to reprise his role. You can see the Instagram post announcing the news below. Yeah, what it is basically, there's a caption on here. It goes, in Constantine, Peter Stormare plays one of the best versions of Satan in film history. Sequel in the works, he puts. Wow. If Stormare is in fact correct about the sequel, the news is huge for fans of the original. Constantine has long been seen as ripe for a sequel, and with Reeves returning to his action sci-fi roots with the John Wick franchise, as well as reprising the role of Neo in The Matrix 4, now is the perfect time to put a sequel into production. There have been hints in recent months that DC and WB might be considering making Constantine 2, with a video released at DC Fandom seeming to confirm the original movie is part of the DC movie universe alongside other properties like Watchmen. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the multiverse. This is what they said at Fandom. It's all part of these different universes. That's truly exciting. There are big plans by Walter Hamada and Jim Lee involving this multiverse strategy that makes the DC Extended Universe and the Reeve universe and, you know, and the Burton universe, all of this is canon now, which is really exciting. Hopefully, whenever Constantine 2 is made, the director and star are allowed to make it a hard R. The first film was given an R rating despite the director and producers working hard to make it PG-13, a decision that Lawrence said screwed its chances of doing well at the box office. But as seen with Logan, Deadpool and Deadpool 2, the appetite for more adult-themed superhero movies is greater these days, and a bloody violent R-rated Constantine 2 would be perfect for the source material. Hopefully, more official news about the sequel is released soon, including confirmation of Reeves' casting. Wow. As I said, when I saw this, I said, this is my lead story. And as I say, everything changed really quickly. If this was going to be my lead story, I would have waited till tomorrow when everything's daylight to do this video, because I've got a shit camera, right? But I've had a shit camera since my very first video on this channel. You guys are used to it. It's not about the quality of what you're seeing and what you're hearing. It's the quality of my passion for this property, for this franchise, for these DC characters. Yeah, absolutely exciting. I am well down for this, and I will keep you apprised of the situation as more news develops. But I'm very, very confident that what Peter Stormare has said is factual, and this, my friends, is happening. I should start calling this section Scott Edwards Asks. Yes, Scott has sent me another request, another question. This time it's about Arrowverse and Katie Lotz's White Canary, Sarah Lance, and we're going to be looking at that. Don't forget, tag me on Twitter and ask me anything you want, and it will be answered, referenced, replied to here on the DCEU Daily or on a separate video. So Scott Edwards asks, Movies TV Mad, which is my Twitter handle, of course. Thanks so much for a video to my question. I gave you a like. Would you be willing to do a video on the character development of Sarah Lance in the Arrowverse? I love her arc from the League of Assassins member to White Canary and Justice League founding member. We've kind of covered this before, Scott, but I don't mind looking at it under a deeper veil. We first saw her, of course, in a flashback when they're obviously on that ship. They're making love. She wasn't played by Katie at first. She was played by another actress, and they decided to recast the role, and thankfully they did. And so when we first know of her, she's a very selfish young woman. She's the female. Basically, she is the female version of Oliver. Very self-centered. Literally, she sleeps with her sister's boyfriend. You know. So. Yeah, and we see her in all the flashbacks on the island, and she really has got the history that Oliver has, which is very interesting. So with this experience on the island, she slowly becomes a more pure-hearted character like Oliver becomes, and she wants to make a difference. She just doesn't know how. So she does become White Canary, and we see her join Green Arrow's team as well, Oliver's team, and we see her killed and then revived. And she's a really darker character in these early seasons of Arrow. And then, of course, she joins the Wave Rider, and she becomes, ultimately, she's still kind of more of a cynical character when she first joins the Wave Rider, until she actually becomes the captain of the Wave Rider. And whoever come up with this idea is a genius. As I say, we've covered all this before. It really is a fantastic arc of a character that starts in a very negative, selfish way, but grows to be a hero. And they, my friends, are the greatest stories ever told. And this is why the Batman character is so fascinating. This is why the darker characters are always really, really interesting to kind of comic book readers and just people who love characters and storytelling in general. They start down there. It's a bit like, is it the Fisher King film with Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams? You may have heard me refer to that film on this channel before. You know, Jeff Bridges is this arrogant, wealthy DJ, and he's talking to someone who's really depressed, and he goes, I don't know what, he says something stupid to him, and then he goes and shoots up this high-class wedding. And then what happens is Robin Williams' character is affected by that. It's a domino effect, and his wife dies in that shootout. And then Jeff Bridges' character loses his job, loses his mind because of what happens. And because of what he did, he affected that guy. It's cause and effect. And this is what I think Sarah Lance's story is so good at. It's cause and effect. You start in one place and you evolve. Character evolution is the best thing in storytelling, Scott. So it's been a very, very long video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, some exciting revelations from Zack Snyder. Please have a lovely day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.